Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a history lesson together from the Good and the Beautiful Year 1 history course. I chose to film today's, I almost said episode. I chose to film today's video because there is a little bit of a project involved. Now, I want to let you mamas know who share the same heart as I, that every time you do a history lesson, there is not a project. I love a little project thrown in there every now and then, but I know that there are some history curriculums out there that require projects every time, and that just would not work for me. So we're gonna go ahead and start reading our Bibles over here, and then we're gonna move into history. But I wanted to let you guys know, in case you watch this and you think, oh wow, that would be a lot to do every time. This is a special thing. It's not every lesson. So we're gonna go ahead and film this. This is, again, History Year 1 for the Good and the Beautiful. And if you're new and just stumbling upon my channel through this video, I have a 6th grader, 5th grader, 3rd grader, and 1st grader. So this history curriculum we use for all of them. So here is our history book. We are on lesson 13, and we are learning about Moses and the Passover today. So you can see the extra items needed are right up here at the top. I did find a quick little easy recipe for this on Pinterest. So there's the supplies for that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the lesson first, as it says here. And then at the end, we're going to come back and do that little additional project. And here is a recipe. I didn't actually realize that that was there. And we're gonna talk about it. So when we were talking about, I asked my kids briefly if they knew what unleavened bread was from the Passover, and none of them actually knew. So I went ahead and found some articles and things that I'm gonna read to them. So just because it's not in the curriculum doesn't mean you can't add it in or discuss it more. So we're gonna do our lesson, then we're gonna learn more about what unleavened bread was and the significance of it, and then we're gonna make it. So I think in the guide, the read aloud option is at the end of the unit, or the end of the lesson that day, but I always like to do it before because we've just finished, what have we just finished, guys? Bible. So we're already all sitting on the couch, so it's the perfect time to read a chapter in our book. We are almost done with this book. We will finish this before we're done with the first unit in history, so that's the goal. So we're gonna read a chapter of this now. So what happened in that chapter?
He's following the view.
Who is?
His half-brother.
Ranifer.
Yeah.
Where did he follow him to?
To a tomb.
And why was it the perfect day for him to follow them?
Because no one was there because everyone was at the festival.
Including the very important who?
Pharaoh.
And the guards that guard what, Libby?
The tomb?
The tombs. So he could go inside. And when Ranifer was inside, he got really scared by something. What was it?
A vulture.
A vulture, a black vulture. But he didn't know that it was, right?
No.
So who went to go find him?
His friends. The cute and the ancient one.
So one is young and one is old, right?
Yes.
Did they find him yet?
No.
Good job. Okay, so we're gonna review a little bit, because today we're gonna read about Moses and the Passover. Do you guys remember what the Passover was?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what the Passover was. Okay, Libby, go.
The Passover was when he was saying about the one with his blood.
Yeah, part of it. They had to use.
I know. Okay. So when they were doing, when Moses was putting like locusts, frogs on Egypt, and the last thing when
The curses.
the angel,
The death angel.
killed the son.
The firstborn son.
So
So they had to put
and they put blood, and they had
anybody's blood or a certain kind of blood.
a lamb's blood.
An unblemished lamb's blood. And they had to do what with their doorpost? paint it so that the death angel would pass over. So that's why it's called Passover. Good. So now you guys need to come over here and we're going to use the map of Mesopotamia that we already looked at before. And we're going to trace a path from Egypt to Canaan. And then I want you guys to tell me how long you think that journey would take. So from Egypt all the way up to Canaan.
Where is Egypt?
So here's Lower Egypt to Canaan. Where would a path that you think they would be go?
They could take a boat, but I think they'd go. Let me see the map for a second.
I think I know.
That's the United States. So many years passed by and the descendants of Israel multiplied and became a large group of people. They lived in Goshen in Lower Egypt by the Nile River. Let's read a story about these people. So we're going to read the story that you guys all thought had a very funny title. Babe in the Bulrushes. Bulrushes or rushes?
Babe and the bulls.
Babe.
Babe.
Oh. Why did I say babe?
That's the title.
Babe and the bulrush.
Okay, so here it is
Babe.
in our book of history
Will
stories.
you show all the...
Yes, I'll show all the pictures.
She looks like a witch
A witch?
that's hiding her secret potions for the princess to die.
Okay, sit down so everybody can see. Many long years had passed since the days when Joseph's brothers and their families had settled in the land of Egypt. They were a great nation in numbers now, but the Egyptians still ruled over them and used them as servants. The Pharaoh, who had been so kind to the shepherds from Canaan, was dead long ago, and the new kings, or pharaohs as they were called, hated foreigners and began to treat the Israelites very harshly.
And she had made up her mind that as soon as he was old enough, he should come to live with her at the palace and be brought up as a prince. He would be treated just as if
So the next part after reading that story from the big book of history stories is to look at this painting, Pharaoh's Daughter Rescues Baby Moses by Gustave Doré, 1832 to 1883 of France. So we're just going to study this here for a couple of minutes. Who do you think that is?
Moses.
Princess. Now that's the princess. That's her servant getting it.
So the last part of our history lesson today is to talk about the significance of the Passover meal and what those foods represent before we do our little project that I already showed you guys. I have roasted lamb. Roasted lamb symbolizes the lamb that was sacrificed on the eve of the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. The blood of that ancient sacrifice was used to mark the doors of the Israelites so they might be passed over. Today, many families substitute chicken or turkey neck for the lamb. So the roasted lamb, these are all pieces of the traditional Passover meal. Okay? So the lamb was obviously probably the most important part, right?
Yeah.
Bitter herbs. Bitter herbs, usually horseradish or romaine lettuce, are used to symbolize the bitterness of slavery that the Hebrews endured in Egypt. Because they were bitter. Yes, they eat all these things in the traditional Passover meal. Okay, what one do you have?
I have
Show everyone the picture.
unleavened bread.
Unleavened bread. So you're going to read the part.
Middle of the road, it's just a feeling of a distant melody unknown. I was doing fine, I minded my own business till the day you took me home. You came into my life like a sweet embrace, swept me off my feet and made me whole again.
So here is the final product of the unleavened bread. We're gonna go ahead and sample it here in a second and see how it came out and see what the kiddos think. But a fun little thing to add into our history today and kind of make it more alive and relatable for them. Okay, so remember, unleavened bread doesn't have any ingredients to make it rise. So you guys all take off a piece and try it and tell me what you think about the unleavened bread.
Sounds like it.
Oh, the lighting is bad. Can you guys go on the other side?
Yeah.
Go around to the other side.
Kilo has it.
Is it hard?
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually really good.
What does it taste like, Caleb?
Tastes like bread and salt.
Bread and salt.
Kind of tastes like oatmeal. I definitely taste the salt. Tastes like bread.
Tastes like bread?
Why do you hate it?
Do you want to eat a traditional Passover meal?
No!
Yes. Yes.
It's terrible.
Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing a history lesson. We had a lot of fun today, and I think they learned some good, valuable information, one of which is we do not like unleavened
Bread.
I like it.